Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the 9th Karachi Literature Festival. KLF launched in 2010. This is the mother of all festivals in the country, as it has given birth to literary festivals in Lahore, Islamabad, Hyderabad, Faisalabad and Gwadar. Inspired by the KLF, the Children's Literature Festival was launched in 2011, and so far we have held 46 across Pakistan. It's a traveling festival. We regard KLF not just as an event, but a movement for books and literacy and reading across Pakistan.
From the time this began 9 years ago, Amina Sayyed and myself, we have watched it grow year by year and take on more books, more authors, and as many issues as possible in these few days.
KLF and the authors represented here are a Pakistani success story, and it is a great showcase for the talent, creativity, and diversity of Pakistan.
Literature crosses borders, speaking to us regardless of nationality and allowing us to see the world from new perspectives. Literature engages and it educates. As an international platform that engages people from all over the world, the KLF has helped to build international understanding and prompted all walks of life to debate, learn, and appreciate our shared cultures.
خواتین و حضرات السلام علیکم. मेरा नाम अंदरूफिनो खैर और मैं नई कौंसुल इटली की हूँ। मुझे आज कराची लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल की इस तकरीब में शिरकत करने की बहुत खुशी है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि इटली और पाकिस्तान का ये अदबी सफ़र जारी रहेगा।
Writing and literature can shine the light. Free thinkers often show us the way when politics becomes complex and unmanageable. We hope to see the relationship between our countries improve. We hope that we can help create an atmosphere free of violence and terror in which we could approach each other and have a calm conversation.
ये शहर जो तशद्दुद का, टॉर्चर का, एक्सट्रीमिज्म का मरकज था, थोड़ा सा शहर खुलना शुरू हुआ है। लोगों के चेहरे पे रोशनियां हैं, लाखों लोग आते हैं। इसकी फेस्टिविटी, इतने लोगों का जमा होना एक साथ, एक दूसरे से मिलना, बातचीत करना, एक वॉइस ऑफ डिसेंट, वो बजाय खुद मैं समझता हूँ कि एक बहुत बड़ी कामयाबी है।
Great successes and the wonders of this festival is how many people turn up and disparate people. And you know, as a writer from Karachi, it's been the most extraordinary gift, because when I wrote my first few novels, they'd be published, they'd come out here. I might have a reading at a small bookshop where maybe 50 people can attend. Every now and then I would run into someone who'd read the book, but what KLF has done is given me such a different feel for audience.
Why is Shakespeare uniquely Shakespeare? One reason is that though his plays were written over 400 years ago, they still resonate with remarkable insight into what it means to be human. And once you realize that the words are not frightening, on the contrary, they are your delight, then the text lifts you into a state of excitement. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his life plays many parts.
unpack some of the issues regarding gender equality, gender inequality, the movement as it has been unfolding in Pakistan, what we've been doing wrong, what we're going to try to do to fix it, and where we go from here.
One thing that is really surprising for me is that I find more feminists in the lower middle class than in the upper class. I'm gonna just make a quick question here. Who self-identifies as a feminist? Raise your hand.
Guys, you can raise your hands too.
Not too bad, half of you. So the rest of you is unapologetically sexist. Yes? Okay, let's embrace this.
We should not even speak about empowerment, because a woman who does not even know what her rights are, well, how is she going to struggle for empowerment? She should know, and also read about other women, and you derive so much from books.
My mother had a 10th grade education. My mother married at 16, had me at 16, and never returned to school until after her divorce. And the brilliance of my mother living that life was my mother said that nothing keeps you from reading. So guess what every Saturday my mother made us do? My brothers and I had to walk a mile to the library, spend 5 hours a day on Saturdays reading. We had to come back and tell her what it is that we learned. And I think that reading is a political act.
ऐसा एक छोटी सी नज़म जो फैज़ साहब ने आखिरी दिनों में लिखी थी वो सुनाता हूँ। जो मेरे तेरे शहर की हर एक गली में मेरे तेरे नक्शे पा के बेनिशान मज़ार है, जो मेरी तेरी रात के सितारे ज़ख्म ज़ख्म है, जो मेरी तेरी सुबह के गुलाब चाक चाक है.
Dr. Ishrat's book is based on his deep understanding of history, his academic research, empirical evidence, and I think most of all, his practical experience of this country. And his conclusion is that our institutional reform and governance have not kept pace with what we require.
You have to find a path towards a working relationship in order to have the space in which to work towards a warm relationship, a friendly relationship.
कि ये जो मोहब्बत की ज़मीन है जहाँ हम हर साल कराची लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल करते हैं, इस ज़मीन का रंग, इस ज़मीन की मोहब्बत, इस ज़मीन पर बोली जाने वाली तमाम ज़बानें, इन सब को जब हम समेट कर साथ लेकर चलेंगे तो केलफ मोहब्बत की ज़बान बनेगा और बन चुका है.
दोस्त 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 प्रेमी हवा की आई सलूक कंथा इंतसर जैसे बदलती हुए वजन था तपत्थरन बांगियां असांजे खस्ता कन ते वसण था बिना पुछे जख्म जख्म तन लाए मुफ्त में कोई नून किस्से लगती बिन्ही के कोर लगे तो
चमकते लफ्जों की मैली आंखों में उलझे आंसू बुला रहे थे, चमकते लफ्जों की मैली आंखों में उलझे आंसू बुला रहे थे, मगर मुझे होश ही कहाँ था, नजर में एक और ही जहाँ था, नए नए मंजरों की ख्वाहिश में अपने मंजर से कट गया.
Punjabi tragedies begin on banks of soggy rivers, tributaries like lines that intersect head with heart and heart with head.
The soft oblongs and the minuscule hard pillow-shaped ones are generated so neatly that instinct alone could have given them shape and no mold. In the harmony shielded by the glass is an unnoticed balance of gravity and play.
खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से ये खुद पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. AKA, before every step you take and decision you make, my son, Make your conviction so strong that God himself will pause fate just to ask you what you would like to do next with your next step. This is a lesson I learned from my father, who learned it from his father, who learned it from his father, my great-grandfather, a man who in 1901 left his home in a land now known as Pakistan to land on Australian shores, for he was young, passionate, and ready to explore, and I can't begin to believe what it would have felt like for a man of only 19 to leave his home, newlywed wife, and child on the way and stand at Bombay port in front of a ship bigger than anything his eyes would have ever seen. See,
It's a first for me in more than one way. But of course, what is very striking is the huge numbers of people who attend and the intentness with which so many people listen.
You know, a couple of years ago, there were two women who had flown down from Peshawar. They're teaching at a university there. They were teaching one of my novels, and they said our students had some questions that we couldn't answer about the book. So we thought we'd come to KLF and meet you, and you could answer that. And that's amazing. I mean, where would they know otherwise, you know, sort of from weeks in advance that they should book a ticket and come to Karachi, to this particular place, to try and find me? So that interchange with readers is really wonderful.
It's the first time I've been invited to this festival. I had such a ball that I'm hoping that at your 10th or your 11th or your 12th or your 13th festival, you'll call me again. So, Meena, I'm here and ready to come back.
Had learned that 1,000 years of war is not the answer. That it is entirely possible for us to grow together. We are all together. We have a future together. And we have to work towards that future. And what Amina is doing here is a sheer miracle. Look at how many Indians have come.
The context of today's occasion is a literature festival. I want to talk about life and literature and celebration. Celebrating the fact that life gives us an opportunity, only life, of experiencing transitory delight in the everyday. This celebration is what literature does. Literature celebrates the possibility within life of experiencing delight. I found it here in Pakistan, I found it in Lahore, I found it here again in Karachi, and it gives me great joy. And I hope you hang on to it, whatever it is in your culture, that makes this possible, that keeps this freshness alive, and allows you to value the importance of this encounter with that moment of beauty. Thank you so much.